Have you ever felt like you love your dog unconditionally, taking care of every meal, every nap, and yet they still act distant, indifferent, or avoid you altogether? You're not alone. Many amazing dog owners just like you are quietly heartbroken by subtle signals they can't quite understand. You walk into the room, and they quietly leave. You reach out your hand, and they turn away. You call their name, and they don't even look back. Deep down, it hurts a little, doesn't it? I understand that feeling, that sense of having done something wrong without knowing what it was. And what hurts even more is that you've probably told yourself, maybe they're just tired, or I'm imagining things, trying to convince yourself so the pain won't feel so sharp. But no, you're not imagining it, and you deserve to know the truth. In this video, we'll gently uncover the smallest signs, from eye contact to body language to subtle behaviors, so you can truly understand. Is your love being received by your dog? Or are they quietly asking for help in a way you haven't recognized yet? And most importantly, toward the end, I'll share with you some everyday behaviors that might seem harmless, but actually signal something much deeper: that your dog may no longer want to be near you. If you've ever felt powerless, unable to grasp what your dog is feeling, then this is exactly what you need, not just to help your dog heal, but to begin healing yourself too. And if you feel these kinds of insights are helpful, don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button. Every week, I'll bring you the quiet truths that most people overlook, but that your heart needs to hear. Now, let's go through 15 subtle signs. If you recognize even one, pause and gently observe. Because your dog may be trying to tell you something words can't express. If there's one moment that truly hits you, it's when the dog you've loved and cherished growls when you reach out your hand. Even if it's just a quiet growl, it's enough to break your heart. You wonder, what did I do wrong? Don't blame yourself. Growling isn't always rebellion or defiance. It's sometimes the last resort, your dog's way of saying, I'm not okay. Please, don't force me. And if that sound comes from the same dog who once cuddled with you every night, maybe it's time to slow down and begin understanding each other all over again. But not all pain makes noise. Sometimes you gently reach over and place a hand on their back, like always, and suddenly their body stiffens. No softness, no relaxation. As if every muscle is bracing against you. A happy dog is like a cotton ball, soft, relaxed, and at ease. But when their body turns tense, it's not just a reflex. It's a reflection of inner anxiety, a mirror of fear. And the most heartbreaking part isn't the stiffness. It's realizing that you touched someone you love and made them feel unsafe. Then there are the eyes you can't seem to meet. You call their name, kneel down to their level, waiting for that familiar sparkle. But nothing. They quietly turn away. Not once, but over and over. Don't assume they're avoiding your gaze out of respect. In many cases, it's a clear signal of fear. Avoiding eye contact is how dogs try to create distance. And nothing hurts more than seeing those once familiar eyes now hiding from you. You might tell yourself, they're just sleepy. But have you noticed? Some days your dog won't even come out from under the bed, or they hide in the darkest corner for hours. Every time you walk into the room, they retreat deeper under the covers or behind furniture, as if hiding from you. A dog who loves you will seek closeness. A dog who's anxious will seek to disappear. It's their way of staying safe, by staying far from whatever feels threatening. and when you realize that threat might be you. It's time to rethink not just a single action, but the way you show up in their world. Sometimes it hurts in the most silent way. When you walk into the room and your dog quietly gets up and leaves. At first, you think it's a coincidence, but by the second, third, or fourth time, you begin to understand. It's not a fluke, it's a choice. Each time you come near, they choose to walk away. And no matter how strong your heart is, it will tremble a little when you see those eyes turn away again, not because you did something awful, but maybe because you missed the small signs before things got too far. So you call their name. Your voice is soft, loving, full of affection. But there's no response. No eager eyes lighting up. No familiar sound of paws rushing toward you. Just silence. And you stand there, hearing their name dissolve into the air, like something no longer welcomed. Sure, sometimes dogs are sleepy or distracted. But if this happens often, you have to ask, why doesn't my dog want to come to me anymore? Maybe you try bringing out their toy, calling them to play, tossing a ball like always, and they barely look before turning away. That's not laziness. That's withdrawal. Because play is a language of joy. It's a sign of connection. When your dog no longer wants to play with you, it means they're no longer finding joy by your side. And the hard truth is, they can still play, just not with you. There are days when you come home exhausted, hoping to see your dog excited as always, but instead, there's nothing. No bark, no eye contact, no tail wag, just a glance, distant, disinterested, and they look away. No excitement, no anger, just indifference. And in that moment, you realize, just because you share a home doesn't mean you share a heartbeat. If these signs feel familiar, don't rush to blame yourself. The very fact that you're here, listening, paying attention, proves you are already a loving, caring owner. But there are still a few more signs, subtler, quieter, that, if unnoticed, can slowly widen the gap between you and your dog. Sometimes, the silence isn't in the barking, but in the space between you. You sit down, pat your lap like always, expecting them to come curl up close. But they don't. They turn away. Or worse, they approach, only to back away when you reach out. That's not a small thing. For dogs, physical closeness is one of the deepest signs of trust. When your dog no longer wants to touch you, it means their heart has started to build a wall, and you're on the outside. And the most crushing sign? It's when your dog doesn't obviously avoid you, they just stop acknowledging you altogether. You walk past, they don't look up. You call, they don't respond. They're still there, but living in a world where you're no longer the center of their joy. And you stand there, wondering, who was I to them? And who am I now? It hurts even more when you offer them their favorite treat, that once irresistible snack, holding it gently in your palm. But they don't come. They don't bite. They just glance and walk away. Dogs love food. It's instinct. And if that instinct is overpowered by unease in your presence, that says everything. Maybe they no longer see you as safe, and that shatters the heart of any devoted owner. Sometimes you reach out like always, a soft hand on their back to soothe them. But what you get is a slow turn of the head, not angry, not in pain, just a quiet rejection. Dogs don't need to bark to say they're not okay. A turned head, averted eyes, they can speak volumes. There are times when you bring out that favorite toy, the chew bone they use to wrestle with you for, laughing and barking with joy. But now, when you pick it up, they don't come running. They glance at it, then walk away. You leave it on the floor, hoping for a miracle. But it stays there, untouched, cold, like the bond between two hearts that once beat in rhythm, now slowly fading. Then, one day, you notice repetitive behaviors. Licking paws, spinning, biting their own tail. At first, you think they're just bored. But if it only happens when you approach, when you touch them, then maybe it's stress. A self-soothing reflex because they don't know how else to escape the discomfort. Just like people bite their nails in anxiety. Dogs sometimes hurt themselves just to cope. And perhaps the most painful sign of all is when you come home after a long day, open the door with a hopeful heart, and there's nothing. No running paws, no barking, not even eyes looking your way, just a silent void. Once is fatigue, but over time it becomes neglect. And neglect is the quietest fracture in a once loving relationship. If you've just gone through these 15 moments, even just one, please don't stay silent. Dogs can't write letters. They don't know how to complain. But they do feel. They hurt. They remember. Maybe you haven't done anything wrong. Maybe you just haven't understood. And that misunderstanding is the biggest barrier of all. Start with observation. Sit down, look them in the eye, and softly ask, "Am I making you sad?" You might not get a reply, but if you're patient and present enough, you'll feel the answer. And once you do, love will find its way back. If you found this video helpful, if you believe someone else out there needs to hear this too, please share it. And if you want more heartfelt insights like these to better understand your dog and yourself a little more each day, don't forget to subscribe. Because sometimes, only when the words are spoken can the heart truly be heard.